sweet angel besties, welcome back. I know this technically isn't my first video of the year because I've already had my 2 journal videos go up, but this feels like the first one that I'm actually able to chat with you guys. So happy new year. It feels good to be back. I took a few weeks off posting like I do every year, but I'm back. I feel refreshed. I feel excited for the new year. And what better way to start off the new year than with a new year reset? I love reset videos. I've already watched so many. I get so motivated by them. I get so inspired by them. And also I want to say you can do a reset at any time you want. It doesn't have to be January 1st. We're already over halfway through January, but you can reset now if you want. You can reset in July if you want. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing the 4 R's. We're going to reflect, reset, refresh, and reinvent. Not really sure about the last one there, reinvent. We're not really like actually going to reinvent. I just couldn't think of a better R word that fit into that kind of category. So take that one quite loosely. But we're going to start off with reflecting on 2024. Then we're going to reset our space. So just do a big clean, a big tidy. And then refresh. For me, I'm going to refresh my house, add some new things, kind of update some things. But you could kind of take this however you want. Maybe you want to buy some new pieces for your wardrobe. Maybe you want to try a new recipe. Maybe you want to clean your car. Refresh can be taken however you want it to be taken. And then reinvent is just going to be me talking about my goals for the new year. We're going to make a new vision board. Just kind of talk about what I'm hoping for 2025. Who I'm going to be in 2025. Reinventing myself, if you will, but not actually, because I'm mostly staying the same. Hopefully just a mini reinvent. Not like a whole new year, new me, but like maybe a little bit new year, new me. But I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. But I feel like we have to start off with a bit of a reflection. I personally love to reflect, and I feel like we can't move on with the other things until we've done that. So let's start with a 2024 reflection. I always write down my goals in some sort of journal or something at the beginning of each year. And for 2024, I decided to make a scrapbook of my whole year, which I did do. This whole notebook is completely full of photos and cards and letters and notes and other things from my year. And so I was thinking back and I was like, I don't even remember what I wrote down as my goals for 2024. Like, it's definitely not something that I looked back on during the year, which is not how you're supposed to do it. So I went to my scrapbook. You have your title page. I have my little mini vision board, which is just a mini version of the bigger one that I made. And then we have this is my goals page. At the top, I don't know if you'll be able to really see this on camera, I have written out goals. So this page was intentionally left for me to be able to write out all of my goals and hopes and dreams for 2024. There is nothing here. And I was shocked because I never not write out my goals, but I kept flicking through and I came across this page, and this says, how am I feeling at the beginning of the year? And it's just like a double spread full of my thoughts and feelings going into the new year. And I was reading this and I totally forgot about this, but when I started 2024, I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I was so unmotivated. The idea of setting goals and intentions for the new year felt so overwhelming to me, felt so far from me, and I just totally forgot about that. Like, I've literally written down here, I feel like I usually start the new year extremely motivated and ready to achieve my goals. I feel like my excitement and motivation is never higher than it is at the start of a new year. I'm a sucker for a clean slate, however this year feels different. I just feel super flat. And I just wanted to mention that because I feel like you don't hear people kind of talk about that. I feel like you often just see people so excited and motivated for the new year. And I will say, this year, at the beginning of 2025, I am so excited. I am so motivated. I am so looking forward to this year, but not every year is like that, and that is so normal. If you are feeling burnt out and exhausted and just the idea of setting goals is so far from you, that's understandable and that's okay. And I will also say that although I didn't set any actual goals, or I didn't go into the year feeling like it was going to be an amazing year, I ended up having one of the best years ever. So if you're feeling like that right now, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad year. You might just need to be a bit more gentle with yourself as you go into this new year. But despite me not actually writing out any physical goals, I did make a 2024 vision board. So I thought we could discuss that. I feel like this vision board really reflects how I was feeling at the beginning of 2024. Like I said, I was just exhausted. I was not feeling motivated. I was not feeling ready to like smash some goals. So I feel like I was just really hoping for a peaceful, calm, rejuvenating sort of year. And I actually feel like I really had that in 2024. First, let's go through some of the things that I did do. First of all, we have crocheting. I learned how to crochet in 2024. I'm still very much learning, like I'm still very much a beginner, I would say, but I wanted to learn how to crochet and I did. And I've created a bunch of things since then and I love it. It's one of my new favorite ways to spend my time and I'm so glad that I actually did it. I also have a lot of like crafty things on here. So I have like jigsaw puzzles. I have a lot of junk journaling and like scrapbooking kind of photos on here, as well as just like normal journaling, friendship bracelet making, and I feel like I did all of those things. I have some photos of hosting, like girls hosting, and I also did do that. I also really wanted to learn how to arrange flowers. Like I wanted to do some sort of like class or something where they teach you how to put bouquets together, and I did not do that. I looked into it actually and it was way more expensive than I thought, and part of me is like, I really still want to do it, but it's like hundreds of dollars. And it's also like, this is just a hobby. Like this is not me trying to become a florist. Like this is just like a one-time class that you do. I might just have to settle for watching some YouTube videos or something. I also really wanted to ride my bike this year. I did not do that. I still definitely want to do that. I had baking cookies. I definitely did make lots of cookies last year. I also had a lot of photos of like girls trips and like sleepovers and just like girls hanging out with their besties. And I did that. I love my best friends so much and I feel like we just had so much fun in 2024. I went on a Sydney girls trip with my besties to see Taylor Swift, which is actually also on here. I wanted to see Taylor Swift, which I knew that was going to happen in 2024 because we'd already bought tickets previously. But going to the Eras tour was such a highlight from last year, like one of the best moments ever. I loved it so much. But yeah, we did a Sydney girls trip for the Eras tour. We also did a little reading holiday in Mount Tamborine at this beautiful house in the mountains, and we just like read for a few days, which was again one of my favorite moments from last year. We also went to Sydney again. We did a road trip that time and we stayed in Bondi, which I loved. I want to go back so badly. And we also did a little like beach holiday right at the end of the year where we stayed in this beautiful Airbnb that had a pool and we just hung out for a few days and it was so special. And apart from the actual girls trips, we did a lot of book club this year. We did a few little hosting moments this year. We obviously just had a bunch of girls nights and like fun little things. But yeah, I feel like we really did that. I also have a girl just like at the gym for health and fitness. I feel like I did an okay job last year. I don't think I necessarily did anything crazy, but I moved my body consistently and that's fine with me. I do want to move it a little bit more consistently in 2025 and just kind of be a bit more intentional with that. But I went on a lot of walks last year and you know what? That's better than nothing. So did I really like achieve this? Not really. I think I went to the gym maybe twice. So I'm just being honest. We didn't tick off every goal, you know? I also had pictures of Tasmania. I really wanted to go to Tasmania last year and we did not do that. I'm hoping we'll do that, probably not in 2025, but maybe in 2026. I still really want to go to Tasmania. It looks so beautiful. But again, I'm just being honest, didn't achieve everything we set out to do. We did go to New York and that was one of my biggest dreams ever. Liam and I have been talking about going to New York together literally since we were in high school. And so actually following through and like planning it and doing it was amazing. Again, one of the best moments of 2024. We went to Montreal, Boston, and New York City. And it was incredible. We loved it so much. And I'm not gonna lie, I got to a point where I thought I would never do that. I got to a point where I thought I would never do overseas travel because my anxiety just, like the idea of doing that just seemed so out of reach. Like, I don't know how to explain it better than saying it felt like my anxiety would never let me do that, which may sound crazy, but maybe if you're a girl with anxiety, you'll understand what I mean by that. And I did it. And I'm so proud of myself and I had the best time. And I really hope that I can do more travel now that I've kind of overcome that. And if you're wondering how I got over that, honestly, therapy. I've been in therapy for over a year and a half now consistently. Best thing I ever did. And the last like huge thing on here was we wanted to buy a house. And we did that. We are sitting in the house that we own. And that was a crazy one. That was one that I really wasn't sure if that was going to happen in 2024. It has been a long time coming. I don't want it to look like it was like, I put a photo of a house on my vision board and then I got a house. Like, that's not how it happened. Like, we've been saving for years to be able to do this. It just so happened that 2024 was like the last step in that plan. But we did it. We achieved that, and that was an absolute dream come true. I will also say that 2024 felt like a year where we saw a lot of our plans and dreams actually come into fruition, whereas I feel like 2023 even reading back in my journal, I was talking about my year in 2023, and I was saying how it felt like such like an in-between year, a bit of a quiet year, a bit of a planning year, where it felt like I didn't really like achieve anything or do anything, but we were in the process of making things happen. And it just so happened that 2024 saw a few of those things come into fruition, like buying a house, doing a big overseas trip. Again, had been saving for that for a really long time. Even going to the Taylor Swift concert, again, did not think my anxiety was going to let me do that, and worked with my therapist for a really long time to be able to do that specifically. So yeah, overall, 2024 was an incredible year, and I'm so thankful. So thankful for all of the big moments, but all of the tiny little moments as well. All of the mornings I got to sit and read my book, all of the morning walks I got to go on, all of the coffees that I got to drink, all of the sleepovers that I got to have with my besties, like every tiny little thing as well, I am so thankful for. Okay, the reflection is complete. Now it's time to move into our reset. So I want to reset this house. I want to clean, I want to organize, I want to catch up on things that I've been meaning to do, but I just want to do some deep cleaning, some organizing, stuff like that. So let's reset. One of the things I have been desperate to go through, declutter, reorganize is our pantry. This is our pantry here, and I honestly think we have a pretty good system going on for the most part. But have we been following the system? No. And therefore, this is what it's looking like. I would say these two shelves, absolutely fine. No issues with those. These shelves, what is going on? Bottom shelf, we just keep trays and pans and things because they don't fit in any of our drawers. So that is also ignored. But yeah, these three are the ones I want to work on. I just need to pull everything out and go through it, make sure everything's in date, and then put it back in. I did purchase 2 of these. I'm considering using them. If I don't, I will just return them. I feel like they could be quite useful. I also think I'm going to take this out. I love the idea of it, but it just means that our cupboard never closes perfectly, which really infuriates me. So that's got to go. But yeah, I'm gonna go through this. So enjoy a little time lapse, and hopefully when you see this, it'll be looking really organized and great. And of course, a Bestie Des video to get me through it as well. I have Easter chocolate in here. What is going on? It's January. I think I'm just gonna live with it for a few days and see what works, what doesn't, and change the things that don't work, obviously. But I'll give you guys a bit of a tour. I definitely ended up moving actually quite a few things around, and I'm just gonna test it out and see if that works well for me. It definitely looks a lot nicer. This is kind of what we're dealing with, same at the bottom there. I ended up putting our protein shakers along the side here. Unsure how I feel about that. Then we have extra baking supplies. So this is like a little baking mix, and then, you know, random things. Then we have snacks. We are not really a huge snack house. I do have these, which are my favorite, which Bestie Sarah sent over from the US. Love that. And some twisties, of course. I impulse bought these the other day and have yet to open them. But yeah, we're not huge on snacks. Then this shelf is more just like dinner items. Actually, at the very back, I have a lot of like miscellaneous baking things like piping bags, hundreds and thousands, cookie cutters, cupcake pans, and then I just have our Glad Wrap aluminium foil and baking paper at the back, which I hate having them back there, but I cannot for the life of me figure out a spot to put them where it makes sense. This cupboard is just such a difficult one because it's very deep but quite narrow. I would much rather have a wider but less deep pantry, but obviously we deal with what we have. So I end up having these like second layers of things that we just don't use as much, but regardless. This is more of like our dinner items. So we have cans here and then miscellaneous dinner things. So we have a pasta bake. We have some passata, we have some chicken stock, random little quick dinner things and some tomato paste as well. And then we have this cupboard. At the back I have kind of like supplementy type things, so greens, moon milk and pre-workout. Really repping the Georgia Rich's collection with Naked Harvest there because that's all I use, and Liam loves those as well. And then we just have our coffee, instant coffee, unsure about this. And then we have one of our turners here, which is actually, I really love how this turned out. Ideally, I would have loved to have 2 of these on the shelf, but I cannot fit them. And that's kind of that shelf. Again, look, does it all make the most sense in the world? No. But does it work? Yeah. And do I think it'll be able to stay neat? Yes. And that's kind of the main thing. So those are kind of just the same as before. And then apart from this, I also changed this drawer. This drawer used to be our spice drawer, and I'm unsure if I'm going to keep this like this. We will see. I just have a lot of tea. I love tea. I drink tea every day, often multiple times a day. And I also love having tea for guests. And I also get given a lot of tea as like birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, things like that, which I love, but I just needed some more space for it. And then also mugs are below this. So I thought that could work, but we'll see. And so I moved our spices up here and used our other little turntable we've got here, Lazy Susan. And I really like this. Again, I'm gonna test this out and see if we like it. It might work for us, it might not, but I like this, I think. But that feels so good. Like I mentioned, I've been meaning to do that for so long. And I feel like that just cleared up so much of the mess in my brain. I love a clean kitchen. I deep cleaned the fridge the other day, so that's done. And I like scrubbed the oven the other day, the inside of the oven. So both of those things are done as well. And I just feel cleansed. Honestly, I thought I was going to do a lot more in that little reset segment, and there are still many more parts of the house that I want to reset, but I think it'll just have to be at a later date because I just kind of ran out of time. But I also still want to go through our garage and reorganize that a little bit, and also through every single wardrobe in our house and go through that. I've gone through my wardrobe, so that one's okay, but the wardrobe in the library room and the wardrobe in the office are just like storage spaces, and I just like never go through those. So I want to do those at a later date, hopefully in another vlog. But for now, we're moving on to the refresh part of this video, and you guys will see later, but I talk about one of my big goals for 2025 is making our house feel like a home. And I think the main way I want to do that is just by actually decorating. I feel like I've got such a renter mindset because I've only ever lived in rentals until we moved into this house, and obviously in rentals you're a lot more limited with what you can and can't do, at least in the rentals I was in. But now we live in a house where we can hang things on the wall, we can paint walls, we can do kind of whatever we want. So I need to make more of an effort to actually like utilize that. And one thing I want to do is hang up a lot more frames on the walls and hang up a lot more photos. So I'm going to do a whole gallery wall above the couch, but again, that will be at a later date because I'm trying to kind of gather things for that slowly and intentionally. But I've started collecting some frames. Some of these are going to go in the gallery wall, some of them are going to go like other places around the house, but I thought I would show you them. I have this one which I've actually had for ages and I just found the other day, just like a little gold square one, which I really love. I also found this one from TK Maxx, which might be my favorite one. It's just this beautiful brushed gold round one. This is another one that we already had. I got this one from a $2 shop actually, and it has this beautiful detail around the edges. I don't know what this is called, like embossing or something. This one is so rogue. I'm gonna paint this, but I just loved the scalloped edging. This one's from Kmart. This one is also from TK Maxx. Again, I love this one, and this is the kind of vibes we're going for. Obviously not just this, I'm just gonna sprinkle these ones throughout the other ones, but I love the like vintagey looking ones, and I'd love to find some even bigger frames that are kind of that vibe. And then I have this one which is just like a white wood, and then this one which is like this beige, and I'm even thinking I want to have some above here, so I'm thinking like maybe like that. I feel like you guys can barely see, like this, or the other way, like that. And some are gonna have photos in them, and then some are gonna have like art or like quotes or things like that in there. Maybe I'll do some calligraphy work, I'm not sure. This is just this little area next to our dining table, so I want to do frames on that side, and then I think I'm gonna put like a little floating shelf on this side, but we'll see. I'm not gonna do that today, but yeah, hopefully lots of little touches like that throughout the rest of the house. Like that is one of my big goals for 2025. I decided I wanted to get some new bedding for the new year. I've honestly been wanting to update our bedding for a while now, but just could not choose what kind of color I wanted to go for, because I knew I didn't want to do white, because that's what we have basically always done. We've got our Christmas bedding on at the moment, but apart from Christmas bedding, we pretty much always just have white. And so I wanted to do something a little bit different. Couldn't really choose, but a lot of the photos that I'd been pinning had blue bedding, so I was like, okay, maybe I will invest in some blue bedding. This is still very, very simple. I feel like it's almost white, like it's such a light blue. This one is from Target. It was actually on sale. It almost looks a little bit denim-y, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, but what I loved about this is that it had some little frills on the side, so it's just like a little bit more fun. I really want to go with more of, I don't want to say a cottage vibe, because our house is very modern, and so I don't know if we can really pull off a really cozy cottage aesthetic in our house, but I do think that is my style. The more I kind of pay attention to what I am drawn to, I would say it's very cottagey, lots of florals, lots of gingham, lots of light and bright colors. I love pastels. Yeah, I would say if I had to define my home style, I would say it's a bit more of like a minimal cottage style. Does my house currently look like that? Literally not at all, but my goal this year is to kind of lean in towards that a little bit more. So all that to say, I got some blue bedding, so I'm gonna wash this, and after that I'll put it on the bed. I probably will get some kind of like decorative cushions and stuff, but I just want to see what it looks like with the bedding first. Not gonna lie, I feel like it's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. I think a big part of it not being my favorite is, one, I want some decorative cushions, and two, our pillows desperately need to be replaced. They are quite literally pancakes at this point, and that is not cute, so maybe that's a job for this week, but I swear they're 2 centimeters thick, and that is really not cute, but I do really like the color. I do. I like it more than I thought I was going to, which is great. It's been a few days, and this is kind of where we're at. I ended up adding a decorative pillow and then some different pillowcases. So this decorative pillow is from Pillow Talk. I love it. I love like the frills. It comes in a few different colors as well. And then I added these pillowcases behind. These are from Spotlight. I think they're so cute, and they just add a little bit of something different. I definitely want to get some printed sheets, maybe like something floral. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm just like waiting till I find the right thing, but I definitely think this is still a work in progress. I also did end up getting new pillows, which has actually made so much of a difference. I didn't realize how badly ours needed to be replaced until I replaced them, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is life-changing. But I do want to replace our European pillows because they are pancakey. And then eventually over time, I think I want to get new lamps, something that just has a little bit more character. And then I also want to put either 2 prints above the bed or like one kind of longer one above the bed. Either way, just add something here because there is not a lot going on in this room. And that's okay, but we can change that. It is officially the day that we replace these dining chairs. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so excited about this. We bought these when we first moved in together. They were from Kmart. They served their purpose. They completely and utterly need to be replaced. They're falling apart, they're stained. They are so squeaky. And our new dining chairs just arrived. They're sitting in the hallway here, and I thought we could open them up together. These chairs I have had pinned on my Pinterest board for at least, I want to say 2 years. like these specific ones. I just almost couldn't justify it because I'm like, oh, we have chairs and they work. But again, they are literally falling apart. So it was time. I ordered these in the Boxing Day sale, so I got a really good deal. They're from Bunnings actually, which is so random. There are a lot of stores that sell like this exact same style of chair, so you can find them a lot of different places. This is just like where I got the best deal. Oh my gosh, guys, I have not been this excited about something in such a long time. Oh, they're beautiful. Oh, I love them. Look at them. They're perfect. No squeak. This is fantastic. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna unbox the rest of these and kind of sort all of this stuff out, but I'll show you what they look like when they're all unboxed. Guys, look how cute it looks. I'm obsessed. Truly exactly what I wanted. Yay! How beautiful. I'm so happy. One element of this refresh that's not house related is a new scrapbook. You guys saw earlier in this video, like right at the very beginning, my scrapbook from 2024, and I completely filled it up, like literally used every single page, which I do not remember the last time I used every single page of a journal. So I'm feeling very proud of that, but of course that means we need a new journal or scrapbook or whatever you want to call it for 2025. So I keep a reading journal and then I also keep a scrapbook. I don't even know like if you'd consider it a scrapbook. It's like a scrapbook cross between personal journal, cross between junk journal, I guess. Either way, this is mine for 2025. And this was actually a Christmas present from bestie Sarah. She sent it over, which is so sweet. It's pale pink and it has a bee on it. I think it's from the brand Undercover because that's what is embossed on the back here. It's gorgeous. Thank you so much, bestie Sarah, for sending me this. It's so sweet and thoughtful. And it literally feels like it was created just for me because it has a bee on it and it's pink. But anyway, I've already started this. Technically, I need to do a title page because I haven't done that yet. I did do a big like brain dump, like a big journal, which I do at the start of every year, and I love looking back at that. So this is just me dumping out all of my thoughts and feelings about the end of 2024 and the start of 2025 and kind of like my goals and intentions and stuff like that. Then I have a blank page because I want to make a mini version of my vision board. Then I need to do a goals page. I've already like outlined all my goals in like a different journal because I wanted to like draft them and kind of like brain dump them before I like officially write them down, but I still need to add that. Then I have my ins and outs, which is really fun. Do you guys want to hear my ins and outs? I don't know if it's interesting. I'll read them to you. You can skip ahead if you don't want to hear them. For my ins, I have being outside. I just find that I'm so much happier when I spend time outside. Girls trips, pretty self-explanatory. Meal prepping lunch. I suck at eating lunch. It just feels like such an inconvenience and such like an interruption to my day. And so I always just end up doing the easiest, quickest thing possible, and it's not always the most nutritious. Like it's, I don't know, sometimes it's just like toast with jam or something, and I'm just so done doing that because I always find that if I eat a good meal, I'm way less tired, like I have more energy. I just feel like I can focus better. Like there are just so many benefits, so I'm trying to get better at meal prepping lunch, and I have done that so far. Journaling, book club. We're bringing back book club in 2025, guys. Colorful house decor. I feel like so many people are back on this train. I feel like a lot of us got sucked into like the beige, white, everything, and I think we all realized that it doesn't make us so happy. My colorful though, I will say, is not like super crazy colorful. I feel like it's more like muted pastels and stuff, but either way, I want to add more color to the house. Beach swims, obviously. Dommy sleepovers, necessary. Trying new cafes, honestly one of my favorite things to do, especially with Liam. And making bread. You'll hear me discuss more about that later. And then on my outs page, I have doom scrolling, slow replies. On my part, I really struggle at responding to text messages and emails and things. I think I have gotten better, but I have a way to go. So we're gonna work on that. I wrote iced lattes when I'm on my period. Soph recently informed me, like if anyone knows these types of things, it's gonna be Soph. I feel like she just knows so much about like health and wellness, like truly knows so much. And she's always telling me things and I'm like, you're kidding, like I never knew that. And the other day I was like, oh my gosh, I like got my period and then I went on my walk and I got a coffee and I got such bad cramps. And she was like, well, yeah, you're not supposed to have iced drinks on the first couple days of your period because it will make your cramps worse. And I'm like, I never knew that, so that's on my outs list. Late nights, which honestly I don't have very often anyway. Having no discipline. Again, I talk about that later in the vlog. Procrastinating, self-explanatory. Not watering my plants. Did anyone see the plant in the intro clip of this video? If you did, I'm working on it. I'm working on it, I promise. And lastly, I have having coffee first thing in the morning. I'm just trying to get better at not having caffeine as soon as I open my eyes because it's just unnecessary. I've been going on my morning walks before having my coffee and trying to have breakfast before having my coffee, just so that the cortisol isn't like up here, you know? But that's my ins and outs for 2025. Oh, and the girls and I also did a 2025 bingo. This is so fun. This is just honestly like kind of a bucket list. Like it's just full of things that we all want to do. I won't read everything on here because there's a lot, but a few of the things on here, I want to do pottery painting. I want to go berry picking. I want to do a beach picnic. I want to have a pool day. I want to go to the movies. I want to go to Wilbur's, which is like my favorite sandwich place. Go see a waterfall, buy myself flowers, have a solo coffee date, put up some shelves, cook a new recipe, try a new no-dough donut, go to the flower markets. Like they're just fun little things to do this year. So hopefully I'll be able to do all of those and like cross them off, but I think that's such a fun idea. Oh, and then I love this. I did this last year and I loved looking back at it. So basically I just called it my favorites, but I write these little prompts and I just write the same thing on both sides. So I've written down favorite color, favorite food, favorite drink, favorite book, favorite show, song, artist, day of the week, place, trend, hobbies, and something I want to learn. And so I filled in all of my answers, and then on the other side I'm going to wait till the very end of the year, at the end of December, and I'm going to fill in the other side and see what has changed and what has stayed the same. And instead of what I want to learn this year, I've written this year I learnt. And this is just so interesting to look back on because last year I had so many things that stayed the same. Like my favorite color stayed the same, my favorite food stayed the same, my favorite book stayed the same, but then I also had a few things that changed, like my favorite song, my favorite place. Like one of my favorite hobbies at the end of the year was crocheting, and that's something that I hadn't even started at the beginning of the year, so that was really fun. And then I just have another journal entry where I've just like brain dumped all of my thoughts. I need to actually go and start printing out photos from things that I've done so far this year. Honestly, I haven't done anything too crazy, but we did go to the Phineas concert, which was absolutely amazing, so I need to journal about that and like add some photos in. But I just wanted to share those little spreads with you guys in case you're like, I want to start a scrapbook but I don't really know what to put in it, or I want to start a journal but I don't really know what to write. Like obviously you can do whatever you want, but if you want some ideas, those are mine. And I feel like a fresh new journal is just one of the best things ever. It's time to make our 2025 vision board. I'm so excited. I have all of my supplies here. I decided to use a corkboard this year instead of like a piece of cardboard. I thought that if I used a corkboard, I'd be able to reuse it every year and just kind of replace the photos on it. And I really want to hang it up in my office. I also already printed off all of my photos at Officeworks, and I also have half of a coffee here. This is my newest obsession. It's an Iceland Black on coconut water, and it's so good. I feel like it's like the perfect summer coffee. And I thought while we set this up, I can chat to you about some of my goals and some of the things I'm adding to my vision board. Something that I've done before and really liked with cork boards is I will, I guess, line the corkboard with some fabric so it's got a bit of a background to it. And so I found these two squares of fabric while I was in Spotlight the other day. They just had them in like a clearance bin. They're a couple dollars each and they are the perfect size for my corkboard. I have one that is white with pink polka dots and one that is white and yellow stripes, and I have no idea which one I want to use. Pink and yellow are my favorite colors, so I'm really torn. The yellow is so bright and fun. I feel like I should probably have ironed these. And whichever one I don't use, I'm just going to use in other craft projects. I have some other ideas for some other things I want to do. I feel like I want to do the yellow. I think it'll be more of a pop. A lot of it will be covered, but oh, why is that such a hard choice? I just love yellow. It makes me so happy. I am going to go attach this off camera because I think I'm going to use my glue gun and there's no outlet near me, but I'll be back. This is what it looks like. It turned out so well, actually. Hot glue is definitely the way to go. I used staples last time I did this and it did not work as seamlessly. Like it was just a bit difficult. I want to do like a 2025 in the middle, and I think I'm just going to use like scrapbook scraps that I have. I have a word for the year this year, which I do some years, I don't do some years. I kind of only do it if I have a word that really stands out to me and really feels, I don't know, important to me, I guess. And this year I feel like me saying my word will not really sound very fun, but it feels right to me, I guess. And so my word for 2025 is discipline. Which again, I just feel like discipline is not necessarily a fun word. However, I feel really good about it, and I don't mean it in a really like hustle culture, crazy kind of way. I truly just mean it in a setting boundaries for myself, keeping the promises that I make to myself, doing what I say I'm gonna do. I feel like I used to have a lot of self-discipline and I just don't have it anymore, and it's really frustrating to me because there'll be times where I'm like, I want to do this and I just don't follow through, and the only person it's really harming at the end of the day is myself. I feel like I went through a stage where maybe I just like was too focused on like go, do, you know, like smash goals, do the most. And I got really burnt out doing that. And then I became so focused on like being gentle with myself that I've gone too far in the opposite direction, where now I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and go for a walk tomorrow. And if I wake up and I don't feel like going for a walk, I don't go. And there's a difference between being gentle with yourself and just being lazy. And I am just getting lazy, and I don't want to be lazy. And it's been over a week now, and to be fair, obviously it's only a week. That's not very much, but it's been a week and I really feel like I'm sticking to what I said I was gonna do. And that has given me so much confidence in myself. It's made me feel so good, and I just want to keep it going. So I feel like all of my goals and all of the things that I really want to do, or at least most of them, really flow from this idea of discipline. A lot of my goals revolve around habits and routines. I just want to build a really good foundation of habits and routines this year. That is like really one of my top priorities, because I just have discovered over the years that I am just a routine loving person, and I don't think everyone is. Like, I don't think having a really strict and regimented routine is actually good for everybody. I feel like some people really thrive on having a flexible routine or having a lot of change, but that's just not me. And I feel like that's the important part. You just have to figure out what works for you. This is really fun. I kind of feel like we should do little like journaling sessions like this sometimes, where I like scrapbook with you guys and just chat. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I feel like that could be fun, just like a chatty craft with me. Maybe that's not interesting, I don't know. But it feels like I'm just hanging out with my friends right now. In terms of my reading goal this year, I think I mentioned this in my book journal video, but my reading goal is 120 books. So roughly 10 each month. Last year, I think I read 150 something. So I think it'll be okay. You never know if you're gonna end up in a reading slump. And if I do, that's okay. I'm not really like too bothered if I don't meet my reading goal. But yeah, that's my goal. I think I'm gonna outline them just to make them pop a little bit more. Hopefully I don't ruin it. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll just add this. And then I'm like, I really should not have added that. Okay. No, I think this is good. I think this is good. Did that ruin it? It might have. Too late. Let me give you a bit of a close-up. Kind of scrapbooky vibes. If you think they're ugly, don't tell me. I don't think I'm gonna stick them down yet. I'm gonna like arrange all the photos and then stick them down. Moving into the actual vision board. We have a lot of photos on here that represent all types of things. Basically, what I do for my vision board is I write down my goals and then I print out photos that are a visual representation of those goals, if that makes sense. So some of them are more personal, some of them are more to do with like work. I think I want to arrange it in like clusters, so put like similar things close to other similar things, if that makes sense. We have some travel goals, we have some trips that we would like to do. We are hoping we can go to Europe this year. Europe / the UK. There are way too many places that I would love to see within those areas. So I have no idea like how much of those places we're going to be able to see, but I'm hoping we'll be able to do some sort of Europe / UK trip in 2025. Fingers crossed. That is like a huge one, and I guess that's a bit of a financial goal as well, because we obviously need to save for that. Every year I also choose a new skill that I would love to learn. So last year I learned how to crochet, and that was so much fun, and I want to continue just learning something new every year. And part of me would love to learn a bazillion new things every year, but I'm just trying to be somewhat realistic with myself. And I just know that if I pick one thing and I do it well, I just enjoy it so much more than trying to learn 100 new things at once, even though that is what I wish I could do. Like, I wish I could just always be learning new things. So this year, my chosen skill, it took me so long to decide what I wanted to do because there are just so many things I want to learn. But yeah, this year, my chosen skill is bread making. So I want to learn how to make lots of different types of bread. Sourdough, focaccia, just like bread rolls, like lots of different things. So that's kind of like my fun personal goal for 2025, and I'm so excited to start my journey. As for other personal ones, I want to keep scrapbooking and like junk journaling because I loved that last year. I also want to continue hosting little like parties for my friends because I had so much fun doing that. Also things I want to continue. Last year I did quite a few girls trips and those were some of my favorite things ever, so I definitely want to do some girls trips this year. I also want to continue crocheting because that is just like one of my new favorite things. I also want to continue just working on my faith. That is something that is, I feel like, always a goal for me every year, and it probably will always be a goal for me forever because I feel like that's just part of my life that is constantly growing and developing, and just like, I don't feel like I'll ever get to the end goal. Like, I feel like it's just a work in progress forever. There are a lot of things like that, a lot of personal development things that are like that I think are just, yeah, always going to be something I'm working on, and that is just one of those things. Another really big goal that I have this year, which is also definitely a fun one, is I want to make our house feel more like a home. We moved into this house in March 2024, and I just feel like it still looks like we just brought all of our furniture in, plonked it down, and didn't touch it again. And that's basically what we did. We never like bought new furniture for this house. We never like renovated anything, which we don't really need to renovate anything, but we just haven't really made it feel like a home. At least that's how I feel. And home is like my favorite place in the world. I am the biggest homebody ever. And so I want my home to feel really special and also just like intentional. I want it to feel homey and cozy. So that is a huge goal for this year. I just want to make our house feel like a home, which we have started. You guys saw I got some new chairs. I'm hoping to replace some of our other furniture because now that we've lived in this space for a while, I just feel like I know what I want in this space and what I think will fit the space quite well. So that is something I want to put a lot of effort into this year. Another really big one for me this year is just movement, and it kind of goes with the whole discipline thing that I was talking about earlier. I just feel like, especially when it comes to health and fitness, I've lost all of my discipline that I used to have, and so that is something I am determined to get back this year and determined to work on. I also just want to continue working on my marriage. I feel like that's another thing that is just like always going to be a work in progress and something that I always want to be intentional about and always want to be working on. I just feel like if you're not working on your friendships, on your relationships, they're just never going to progress or get any better. If anything, they'll probably just get worse. It's like, oh my gosh, I just got an image in my brain of the love fern from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. But that's essentially what I'm saying. Like, if you don't look after your love fern, it's gonna die. So just making my relationship with Liam a priority is just always gonna be something that's important to me. In terms of financial goals, like I said, we have some things that we're saving for, but apart from that, I also want to start investing, which is kind of a scary one, but I'm also kind of excited about it. I do not feel like I am someone to come to for financial advice, so I'm not going to give you financial advice. However, my sweet friend Ella makes a lot of finance content, and I'm going to try and remember to link her channel down below. If I forget, please remind me. But if you are someone who wants to learn more about finances, whether it's investing, budgeting, saving, financial literacy, and you just don't know where to start, because I feel like a lot of finance content out there is aimed towards men. But if you want something that's really accessible, really easy to digest, and not overwhelming, I will link Ella's channel down below because she just gets it. I really appreciate all of her content. I've learned so much from her, and I'm sure I will continue to learn so much from her, so cannot recommend her channel enough. As for a few smaller things, I just want to keep making videos that I love. I want to keep going on coffee dates by myself or with people that I love, because I just love coffee dates. I want to go to concerts. I want to go to the beach, and I want to be in the ocean as much as possible and just be in the sun responsibly as much as possible. I also actually, over my little social media break that I took, I actually deleted all of my social media apps from my phone for about a week and had like a full little hiatus. And I actually want to do that a little bit more, just like infrequently and not like super long periods of time, but just like fully disconnect from the internet. It's not something I feel like I need to do all the time, but just sometimes. But I feel like it just forced me to like slow down a little bit. Also just like clear out my brain a little bit. Like I feel like sometimes I just get a lot of chaos in my brain, and I feel like I didn't have as much of that when I was off social media. So I want to do a bit more of that. But yeah, I feel like those are all of my goals. I feel like I just yapped for so long. I am going to finish just pinning all of these in, maybe add some final touches, we'll see. And then I will show you guys what it looks like when it's all complete and give you a bit of like a close-up so you can actually see the photos a little bit better. But this already just feels so inspiring, and it's just making me so excited for 2025. And again, you don't have to do this in January. You can do this at any time. It doesn't make it magic just because you do it in January. Okay, I'm officially done. I love it. I think there might be things that I add to it throughout the year, like maybe some stickers or like a little ribbon or something. Like I feel like it needs a few more final touches, but I don't really have anything right now that I want to add. But the main part is done. Also, sorry if the lighting's changed. I am losing light here. So this is what we're looking like. We have hosting, bread making, scrapbooking, coffee dates, crochet. This is kind of more of my like fun side, I guess. Concerts, hanging out with my friends, having girls trips, making my house a home. This is more of like a travel side. So like I said, we're hoping we can do a big overseas trip. And I also just want to spend a lot of time at the beach. We have lots of reading, including Bible reading, just prioritizing my faith, eating well, moving well, journaling. This is more of like the self-development kind of area, I guess. But yeah, this is my vision board for 2025. I love it. And these are the pins that I used. If you're wondering, they're just from Officeworks. I hung up my vision board in my office, and I love how it turned out and how it looks. It just looks so cute. I just hung it up using command strips. This might be my favorite vision board I've ever made. But that is everything that I have to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for my 2025 reset. I had so much fun filming this, and I can't wait to just continue getting back into the vlogs and into all of my other book videos and other things as well. I have so many fun video ideas coming your way, but I guess I'll see you guys in my next video very soon. Goodbye.